If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. Is Watch the Throne 2 actually happening? We gotta take a look at this, break down the evidence that we have, and also just the realistic possibility of this happening. Now, obviously, you've all seen this, but there have been these clips going around of Kanye on the new Drink Champs episode. We're gonna get into the details later on, but there was a snippet before it released that teased Watch the Throne 2. So right now, we're going to break down all the stuff that happened and if this is actually a realistic possibility. So let's jump straight into this. So part 3 of the Drink Champs Kanye episode, which have been spread out over quite some time, just dropped about 15 hours ago at the point of recording this. You can go check it out. It's, again, like 3 hours plus. He talks about a lot in there, among other things, also justifying, the White Lives Matter shirt that, sparked a lot of controversy. Also has some thoughts on George Floyd, which are very controversial. I recommend you go check it out. Me personally, I haven't gotten through the whole thing yet, but I plan to do it later on today because, always these Kanye interviews that are very long in length, they're very interesting to watch. At the end of the interview, you can definitely see the alcohol getting to him, so it's kind of funny to also see him act a little drunk and just say stuff off the top of his mind that he wouldn't maybe normally say, and that says a lot for Kanye. But let's actually look at Watch the Throne 2, because that is obviously, the most interesting thing that happened during this thing, or at least when it comes to new music and announcements and stuff like that. So there was this snippet going around before the actual episode dropped, like a day before, I think it was, where we could see, just basically nothing, just a recording of someone sitting next to the actual set that they're recording this on. But they, of course, were filming this and they recorded the audio of what's then happening in the interview. And by now, obviously, the interview is out, but that was important because that dropped before. And in that little clip, we can hear Kanye say, "This Deuce is brought to you by my friend Hove, courtesy of The Throne, part 2 coming soon." And he said, "Just for the hint." So kind of like, hinting, obviously, that's the definition of it. But at Watch the Throne 2 with, Jay-Z, Hove, actually dropping sometime in the future. That's even a good news for anyone still wanting this record. Even if we don't get it's coming out soon, it's coming out this winter, at least that it's coming is pretty okay. That's good news for all of us. Of course, I have a couple of questions, but I want to date this back a little bit just because obviously Watch the Throne dropped in 2011, so over 11 years now it is, that the first part of this thing dropped, and it was ever since 2013 there have been theories about part 2 dropping. I also made some videos in the past on this, but the latest that we know about this being a possibility is actually 2021, when Justin LeBoy, who you might know as someone very close to Kanye, kind of sometimes called his creative director, but in 2021, he said, "Watch the Throne 2 coming end of the year. Kanye and Hove about to make history again. Yes, Hove and Ye back building again. They both rich enough to quit rapping, but the passion they share of making the fans happy got them back working." And this was all during the Donda stuff, while the Donda release and listening parties were happening. So this was kind of good news. We all thought we were going to get Donda and then also Watch the Throne 2, which obviously didn't happen, so this was not correct information. But this doesn't date back that long ago. It's about a year ago that he tweeted this, so it's that could still be the same thing that they're talking about. Back then, Justin LeBoy, who's obviously close to Kanye, maybe was talking about the same project that now Kanye's referencing in the Drink Champs interview. So there is actually a good possibility, a very high possibility, that they're working on this, and that this will at some point actually see the light of day and become a reality. Something that fans obviously have been wanting ever since the first one dropped, because the first one is a classic, and of course Ye and Hove together are just, they're crazy. I have a couple of questions though about this. If they started working on this last year, let's say they started working on this, beginning of 2021, so that Justin LeBoy could tweet that it's coming at the end of the year. Maybe now everything got a little bit delayed, that's why it took another year. Stuff like that happens. Albums usually never come out when the first leaks are saying they will. But let's assume they started working in 2021. Ever since then, a lot of stuff happened with Kanye. You know, he went through the whole public divorce with Kim that left a lot of people like, you know, abandoning him, that left a lot of people like leaving him in controversy a lot of the times. Then we had the whole stuff now in the recent past, like the last couple of weeks with the White Lives Matter shirt. We had the tweet about Jews, him getting removed from all popular social media. I'm talking about Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter mainly. So stuff like that happened. Does Jay-Z even want to work with this guy? And I get their friendship dates back 20 years, 25 years, whatever, how long they started working on the blueprint. And that, of course, their connection runs very deep. And they've done an album together before. And Hove was obviously on Donda. And we know that the two of them are pretty close. Likely the two most influential people in hip-hop, Kanye likely in pop culture. That they're working again on a new tape is great news and will likely make very big waves if it ever drops. But for Jay-Z, who is quite the opposite in a lot of ways from Kanye, when it comes to Jay-Z's public appearances, he's very reserved. He's like saying the right thing, just trying to stay on track, you know, create his wealth, whatever he does best. And Kanye is someone who's very much out there, who says a lot of controversial things, and who's in a lot of ways at the other end of the spectrum that the more reserved and very calculated Jay-Z is. And that's why maybe Jay-Z has now taken an approach to be like, I don't want to work with this guy anymore. There's so much controversy right now around Kanye that I don't know. It could either be the biggest dub for Jay-Z to now do a tape with him, or the biggest L, and he'll lose a lot of his credibility. So I'm very torn when it comes to this. Now, as I said, I believe it's the same project we're talking about, if it's Justin LeBoy or Kanye now in Drink Champs. It's just the question of if the recent controversy has really, you know, kind of destroyed the possibility, the prospect of this album ever coming to life. I would, of course, be so happy if this ever saw the light of day. Watch the Throne 2 is a personal wish of mine, you know, for the longest time now. And ever since we had these rumors from Justin LeBoy last year, I was like, okay, maybe this is a possibility. Maybe this is actually something that might happen. And hearing Kanye now talk about this as well, from him directly, is another great sign. And maybe at some point, I don't think it'll be this year. I don't think it'll be beginning of next year. If anything, we gotta wait till summer next year to get any more info on this. But if it does happen, I'll be the happiest person on this planet. But this is all we got so far, this snippet from the Drink Champs interview. As always, go check out the full video on the Drink Champs channel. I would very much recommend it. Great interview with me myself. I haven't gotten through it, but if you can make it through the whole 3 hours, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know your favorite part about the interview. But for now, obviously, also let me know what you think about this whole news. Do you think that Watch the Throne 2 is actually coming in the near future? Do you think that Hove stopped working on it because of the recent controversies surrounding Kanye? Do you think Justin LeBoy is talking about the same project that Kanye is now talking about? All your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.